I didn't press play. We're here. Everybody is in the mood. Look at the merch. Check out the new merch. Hey everybody, welcome back to Talk2 podcast. I'm the host with the most. Yours truly, the boy. To my left, we have your boy is back again. From Trigga. Listen, follow us on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube, please, people. We need you to subscribe to support this channel so we can go farther. Also on Facebook, and comment down below and tell us what you think. Okay. Anyway, let's get into this. First thing first, if you guys have you guys seen or the Catholic Church say something about that they vote against same-sex marriage. First thing first, have we all been to Rome here?
No, I haven't. I made plans to go to Rome, but I've never been to Rome.
You never been to Rome?
No,
bro.
I've never been to Italy in general.
Loads of tourists. And I hated Rome. It's a beautiful place, but it's just like the whole experience is just tourists everywhere. People trying to sell you stuff everywhere. Then I went to the Vatican, and that place is very heavily guarded. Jesus. Before you get in, the security, it's basically what you see at the airport, but double. Like, you go through a heavy security. Then when you get inside to the, what's it called? Cecil Chapel?
Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, whatever it's called. Anyway, you can't take any pictures and stuff like that, So
Wow.
It's very heavily guarded. Anyway, what you guys think about the Catholic Church? Say they're not supporting. Let me just see if I can find anything here for you guys. If I can read out what exactly they said. Talk, guys, when I'm looking for this, man. What do you think about it?
You're the one that's about to give us a topic right now.
Y'all need to talk. Not supporting same-sex marriage.
Right.
So,
I think it's a very sensitive topic. Why? Because in today's world, I feel like a lot of people are bullied into accepting some things that they're not into. And let me just clarify this from the get-go, right? Homosexuality and race are two different things. They may all find, we may find that in history, black people have been discriminated on, homosexuality, people have been discriminated, etc. But they're two different things. I just think people should separate them, right?
But there are people that also argue the fact that homosexuality has been around for, not that it's the same argument, but homosexuality has been around for a long time. Let me just read what the Catholic Church, what the BBC News, I'm quoting this from the BBC News. So It says the Catholic Church does not have the power to bless the same-sex unions. The Vatican office responsible for doctrine has said, I don't know who doctrine is. It's impossible for God to bless sin. The Congregation for Doctrine of the Faith said on Monday, but CDF did not know the positive element in the same-sex relationship. So on and so forth. Okay, now let's get into the Vatican thing. Are you guys all familiar with the Vatican, right? They're like the head of the
Catholic Church.
Catholic Church. But isn't that aren't they guilty for pedophilia or something like that? I mean, I'm not a religion person, but
I think that is the favorite topic of many comedians out there.
I don't think that's a comedy. I don't think that's a comedy for the kids that have gone through it.
No, it's not at all.
Actually, is it just boys, or I'm not well informed into this. Was it just boys or females?
I think it was mostly young boys, and I think there were also cases of young
Speak
girls.
louder to the mic.
I think there was cases of young boys. Most cases were young boys, but there are also reports of small girls, but most of them were young boys. I think probably given the fact that most kids that are involved in the church activities would probably be young boys.
Yeah.
I think the
age I think it's from 7 or
I think a lot of them involved in church activities that would be around priests were boys, and I think the ones that were into Catholic Church, the females were usually with the sisters, and the boys are usually with the priests and the abbots, etc. So I think that's why we hear more of young boys being touched with by the priests, by the pedophiles.
Does that
than,
tie
young
into
girls.
because I know they said that the decisions came from the Vatican as well office when Irish people back in the days when they suffered through that whole scenario back in the days where you could not have kids outside marriage and stuff like that. Not outside marriage or before getting married. There's a name for it.
Out of wedlock.
Yeah, out of wedlock, but there was a whole thing that they were calling. But anyway, and that went on for ages where people that had kids they were either outcast or they probably um, hid them or something like that. They found a bunch of bones of like kids
Bastards.
or something like that.
They call them bastards.
Yeah, I know, but like not bastards, but like it was just like you didn't get married, but you having kids. Like for men it was okay, but for females, for a lot of females, they
Yeah,
suffer
they call
through.
them bastard kids.
Yeah, I understand for the kids. Yeah, they call them bastard, but I say for females, they suffered a lot. For somebody who had sex before getting married, at a certain age, that was basically illegal back then, and it was very, you have to get married first, or if you got pregnant, you either had to get married.
Shotgun
Understand?
weddings.
I think they found loads of like bones and stuff like that. This is ongoing in Irish community for a very long time, and I think the Irish society still suffers from this until this day. I don't know what you guys think. If you guys are up to
No, I'm not
to
familiar
date
with
to
that story at all.
are you not? Oh,
No.
bro, you should look it up. They like, nobody was allowed to like have kids before marriage, and whoever they did, they either hid them or it was a big secret. And the kids, like, they found loads of bones, like under in some of the Catholic church, that kind of stuff, of kids and stuff like that. So I don't know
Made
if
it in international news.
yeah,
actually.
were they killing the kids? I don't know what they were doing, but it was horrible. I thought it was only here in Ireland, but apparently the whole decision came from the Vatican.
Like the Vatican itself, the Catholic Church, I think they have a lot to account for. This decision that they take right now will definitely, it'll bring its backlashes as well. There will be backlash from the community in general, but I think from now on,
LGBTQ.
yeah, like from everybody, not just the LGBTQ. You have to understand that its decision people will compare it from things that has been going on in the church. Right? From now on, they really need to watch every step they take. They need to basically go out there, look for every priest that has been accused of pedophilia and take action against them. Right? They need to tighten up that because right now they're facing one of the biggest movements in the world right now. You cannot lie to me. There's no bigger movement than the LGBTQ right now. Not the Black Panther, not the BLM.
Not even the Black Lives Matter, man.
Yeah, the biggest, like they are one of the, it's, like they're untouchable right now.
They move united, and I fuck with them as well. I'm with them. They move united. The way they move about the whole thing, but I just think that it's a bit hypocritical from their part. But I don't know. Again, I'm not there to make the decision. Maybe there was like politics involved or anything like that. But bro, if you want to get married, my word is just get married. Whatever you need to get married, man. You understand? Most likely, when it comes to religion, same sex in religion, they don't really clash well because of the Bible. You would say because of the Bible. You know the Bible well, son of a pastor.
No, here's my thing, right? First of all, I have nothing against anybody's lifestyle, whether they're homosexual or not. It's none of my business, right? That's one thing that we need to clarify there. But if we're to get deeper into it, and you're to ask me my opinion on homosexuality, I will not refrain myself from expressing my true feelings. And it's something that, okay, the church has every right to refuse. The same way, there are rules in everywhere. In every institution we go into, there are rules, When you go to school, there are rules. And now this is religion. It's something to do with spirituality. Even in the Bible, they speak about Sodom and Gomorrah, where people were practicing homosexuality and God stroked them down. You know what I mean?
Wasn't the Bible edited?
It was, and I think the Vatican would know a lot more of the true Bible.
So why are we believing like?
Um, Look, that's a different topic altogether. If we're to get into that, it is what it is. That's all I can say.
I got to a point. Yeah, it is. Like I just, bro. Listen, man. If I'm in charge of a house and I have people coming in a house, it means I can pretty much set the rules how I want the rules to be. And those people, when they come in, they can respect it or not. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to get deep into it. You
I'll
understand?
just give you an example of how complicated this is, right? And how hard it is to decipher. People of Christian faith, right? They distinguish themselves from Jewish faith, right?
Mm.
But yet, I have siblings who have Jewish names. Keep in mind, they're black Africans with Jewish names. And the worst part is, some of these names in the Bible have been translated and changed. Did you know that Jesus' name was not Jesus?
What was his name?
Yehoshua HaMashiach.
Yehoshua is Jesus. Isn't that the same?
No, it's been...
That's like in English,
How
Yehoshua.
could I say Jaurès is... I changed it into...
Peter is Pierre in French.
Exactly.
Which is like...
So, why are we not adopting the originality of the Bible? Which means if we're going to call our child Peter, we find what was Peter, that character. Because right now, when it's translated, I feel like they have been replaced with different characters. Or these characters, in the Bible, have been given a totally different name, which is not their name.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Like, we've lost the originality by translating it. We've lost a lot of things.
That's why you keep
when we
seeing,
translate the Bible.
The Bible comes out, New Testament. I'm like,
no, basically,
hold on, who wrote this New Testament? Who wrote this? Who advocated? Who administrated this whole thing? Who approved it and said, yo, listen, you know what? Back in the day, John Baptist said, listen, there's a part that's missing that we're hiding there. It's like, the Bible now, I felt like it feels like, iPhone 7, iPhone 8 is out. The new iPhone 9 is coming out, New Testament. And I'm like, oh, this has an upgraded version.
No.
There's a part about Jesus that we didn't know.
No, the thing is, the Old Testament is speaking basically, to make it short, they're talking about what happened before Jesus. And the New Testament starts in the book of Matthew, all the way to the book of Revelations. Right?
Okay, so how many people wrote the book? I want you to educate the people.
I think there was a few of the apostles that wrote the book, and then there were also other books within the New Testament that were not really disciples of God, of Jesus, I think.
What's the new book that they found?
The New Testament.
That was the new one, the one that they found.
New Testament.
And that had nothing to, like, it contradicts everything in the Bible. They say they found some on the new Bible that they won't reveal, obviously.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have that information, to be honest. I can't really comment on that. But what I can say from the bit I know about the Bible, that's how it's divided. You got the Old Testament, you got the New Testament. The New Testament really focuses on the life of Jesus Christ and his death, etc., right? The problem is, Jesus himself, there's no book of Jesus in the New Testament, right? Which leaves us to everybody writing things to do with Jesus' life, right? According to themselves, right? According to what they say they saw.
And these people were like close.
His apostles, mostly. These were people around him, right? But the fact that we don't have the full book, or we don't have everybody's opinion. I think there's even a book of Judah.
What? The people giving his side?
Yeah, he cited a story on why he betrayed Jesus.
That's like when Spider-Man made a movie and the who's the guy? The guy in black. The bad guy in Spider-Man. Oh Jesus, give me his name.
Even Batman?
No, not Batman. that is not even Marvel's. Jesus Christ. No, that's DC. Hold on. Let me look it up, man. Look it up. There's Spider-Man and the guy that they did a solo movie with Spider-Man and Venom. Right. So Venom, right? For starts, Venom was a guy he was like a bad guy on the first Spider-Man movie. We saw it. And then they ran out of movies to showcase us. It's like, listen, the new Avengers is finished. La 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 la. Boom. Oh, I got an idea. Let's show an angle of Venom, whatever, where he looks like a hero. Is that the same case with the Judas?
No, like I feel like
They kept bashing Judas.
the thing is, we all know the story, right? According to the disciples, Judas betrayed Jesus, right?
Yeah.
So Judas, exactly. I was saying Judas before. Judas, right? So the thing is, with all these things, they're very sensitive topics, right? They're very, very sensitive topics,
Course,
right?
man.
What we have is a Bible that's over, I think, hundreds of years. This is what has been taught. This is the Bible that they brought to the Africans, turn them into Christians, etc., etc. So, yeah, you can call it brainwash, you can call it whatever you want, but then it is what it is.
Sorry, not brainwash.
Yeah.
You guys believe in whatever you want to believe.
Like,
sorry.
It's what we
Freedom,
have.
power to the people.
It's what we work with as Christians. And what you have right now is just people questioning a lot. People have the freedom now to question a lot of things in the Bible and a lot of things that happens in the church. Because keep in mind, before, you couldn't really question the church because it was the biggest entity there ever was. It had control over countries. It had control over empires.
And no one did see anything happening, so no one can comment it. Okay. All right, so let's see if we can move on out of that topic. I want you guys to talk about another sensitive topics. While we're on sensitive topic, let's just go in deep. We were behind, obviously, before recording, we're talking about equality and feminism and all that. Because some people would say that this is getting out of context, the whole feminism thing.
Yeah.
You understand? I am a feminist. I'm pro-feminist. I don't know what's the word you say, but I'm there. You understand? I understand it. And with years to come, with the whole development of people coming out and say we need equal pay, we need equal this, blah 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 blah, and I understood it. And for the first time in the light, it was like, oh shit, wow, oh this is what's been happening. You understand? But you had some pointers where you said that obviously women needs equal pay to men.
True.
But then I can't remember what you said about the pregnancy and stuff.
Oh yeah, I was giving my reasons why a lot of women, in general, make not in general, but why they say women make less than men. I think we're looking at the general picture, and it's a good thing we got a female here. She'll give us her point of view as well.
We got a few females here.
Yeah, this is my point of view personally. I believe women, in general, or in a lot of cases, make less money than men. It's because a lot of women, they decide to focus more on family. They get pregnant. They need time off to recover. Right? Pregnancy comes with its complications. Right? And, they're just, it's basically looking in beyond why women make less than men. Because I don't think, it would be wrong for companies.
Do you think they should continue making less than men?
No, what I think is there should be equity rather than equality, right? I do think everybody should be treated the same, of course. I'm all about equality. I'm not about feminism or masculinity, whatever, all that nonsense. I'm not into that. I just feel that everybody should get paid the same, right? But then I also understand why one group of people might be getting paid less than another group of people, because men and women are not the same, in the sense that a woman needs time off to recover, right? It doesn't mean, when I say they're not the same, it doesn't mean that men are smarter than women or whatever. No. We all know that women are better at multitasking than men.
Female behind the camera, go.
Yeah, so you mentioned some great examples. What do you understand with equity? Just enlighten us once more.
What you mean?
For example, offering females a safe kindergarten place for their children close to the workplace as a part of their contract.
No, I think it's a great idea because
what happens to the people that can't have kids?
That's a different situation. Then you don't have the difficulty. If you can't have kids, then you don't have to worry about kids. You don't need the kindergarten.
Should they be a different packages when you arrive? Men packages, and then for females that get pregnancy, and then for somebody
unnecessary. Here's the simple way to look at it, right? A lot of companies can benefit from having good mentality at workplace, good and a healthy mental health. Good mental health, healthy mental health, right, at workplace, by simply helping the females who want to get back into the workplace. Because here's the thing, here's the reason why a lot of women, right, make less money too. This is another reason, because, they give birth, and it's usually 6 months, I think, paid leave or something like that. After 6 months,
I think it depends on the company.
Yeah,
And the country.
yeah, I think it's 6 months if I'm not mistaken. It's usually 6 months, and then after 6 months, I think you have to go on social welfare, etc., etc. If you need more time to recover.
Some countries don't have social welfare.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but you can't. Not every economy is the same. I'm talking about most Western and developed countries that have these programs in place. These programs in place for women. So a lot of women, why they don't go back to work early, or sometimes don't go back to work, is because they say, okay, listen, I have a child now, and the child is 6 months, right? I need to breastfeed this child because usually babies at 6 months, they're still breastfed, right? Okay, fine. You're breastfeeding this child. You say, okay, you know what? I'll go back to work when this child is 1 year old, right? When the child is 1 year old, 1 years old, perfect. Okay, you want to go back to work. Now, here's the problem. You want to take a babysitter, it's like you'll be working to pay the babysitter because babysitters charge per hour as well, right? You need to find a kindergarten, and it's not cheap either.
Which brings my next point. Don't you think women should get paid more than men?
No, then it's not equality anymore. Here we're talking about equality, right? And equity at the same time. Equity would be basically helping these women
Let me
with
say this.
kindergarten.
Let me give you an example, right? Let's put it like this. Fine. We have a department that pays people 200 euros or 400 euros a week or something like that. You have John and you have Mary. Mary is a female, John is a male, obviously. John, he's an alright worker. Mary works harder than John. Mary comes through, does this, does that, benefits the company, but nobody gets to get paid above that. But then Mary gets pregnant and she goes out on a pregnancy maternity leave, takes care of the baby, and does this, does that. By doing that, by contributing to the population of the world and being a mother and going through the whole pregnancy, which is not easy because we men don't give birth, and basically being able to do that and come back at work and kick ass at the same time. Don't you think there should be a package that says, we understand your suffering that you're going through. We understand that you're female. We understand that you can be a female and at the same time do the job that John can do. You can take time off, go through postpartum, and do the same job that John can do. John doesn't need to get pregnant. John lives his life about his way, but Mary gets to go through pregnancy, through that. It's not the company that impregnated her, but I'm just saying, in the case of like what females go through, shouldn't they come back and say, yo, fam, we understand what you went through, pregnancy. Here's a package that helps you with that situation. That's a little bit better than men.
Okay, let me answer. Okay, first of all, if John is a shit worker, he should be fired. Okay? That's one thing. That's HR.
Irrelevant.
But here's the thing, right? There is a package. It's called pregnancy leave.
Yeah,
but John doesn't get pregnancy leave.
Yeah, but that
Mary
pregnancy leave,
does.
fam, that pregnancy leave comes in on top of the low wages they get less than men.
Where do women get name me one company that pays according to sex.
Fam. Everywhere.
Except of companies in Sweden.
Some companies are developed now.
Hold on.
Sweden is the only European country that legally obliged all companies to pay men and female same.
Okay, I don't think, honestly speaking, especially with my own experience, I don't think there's a company out there that says, hey, we're going to pay women less than we pay men. Because I work in a team with women, and we get paid the same.
Well, then you are very lucky, but you cannot take.
I think you can only speak from your experience.
Can I know of a company? Give me specific. Because I know in Ireland there's something called. Hold on a minute. I know in Ireland there's something called equal pay.
I understand.
Right?
You're saying that. I understand you're saying that.
I never met anyone that has told me.
That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
No problem. We'll work with that, right? We'll work with that. Okay.
Just because they say there's no aliens,
no, hold on.
doesn't mean that there's no aliens. And just because, no, I'm joking.
Listen, work with me. We'll work with that with that topic, right? If there are companies out there paying women less than they pay men, the women could sue for discrimination. Did you know that?
Did you actually see? Are you actually sitting here telling me that the
I'm
less
sitting
pay
here-
that women don't get, that's not real? You actually sitting here saying
What
that's
I'm
not
saying
real?
is, I think it's something of the past, right? Because no
Really?
company, listen to me, no company would risk a lawsuit in this
What
day
else,
and time.
fam? Did you
In this
know
age
that
and
in
time.
America there's black women that get paid less than, like, I'm just going. There's black women in America that get paid less. This is the thing. Like, I don't know where you live in what bubble. I know we're like in Ireland and more like, I mean, in Cancun,
There's a
everything's
very simple
kumbaya.
reason why there are just a few lawsuits against companies. Because first of all, a lawsuit is always connected with costs, right? An attorney.
You
etc.
lose, fam.
If you have an average income, you usually don't consider paying $2,000 or $3,000 for an attorney just to get something in the way that you might lose probably anyway. Because
Right.
B, the company has huge power. And so most women are just, how we say, intimidated, and they don't go for it at all. And now as a company, you can find great ways around the official statement, we don't pay sexes equally, because you can say she came in later with a different contract. She came in with blah 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 blah. You can find all kinds of excuses, and that's why women hold back.
I really understand that. And I feel that if there are companies out there that till today are paying people differently through sex, I think they should, even a class action suit should be taken against them, right? Where a lot of women, all the women, like you said, the black women in company X are getting paid less than the white women in company X. I think they should come together and file a class lawsuit. You get me? I'm not for unequal pay. What I'm saying is, right, I just didn't think in this day and age that would still be a practice, because I think there are even organizations that would give these women legal aid.
And you bring in a very interesting point. It's just the fact that we, being in our generation, think companies cannot afford not seeing it anymore. Because look at us sitting here discussing about it. So I do think there's definitely movement, and there are organizations who have a point in that. But I think there is a lot to do still.
True, there might be a lot to speak with. I mean, to work with. Speaking from my opinion, and when I worked, like all the jobs I've worked in, it was, I was part of a team, and we would openly speak about our contracts. Right?
Well,
There were different contracts.
That's a great company culture, I have to say.
Yeah, like I'm not scared of that. To speak about that, there are different contracts. I worked in a French department in most of my jobs. My pay was different than the person working in the English department.
Which is fair.
Right? Because, first of all, the demand was different for a French speaker and an English speaker. Now, it could happen that I'm working in the same team as a girl, right? And she's getting X amount and I'm getting X amount. It could happen too, right? It could also happen that when I signed my contract, they were paying people of this department X amount. By the time PJ, who's a girl, comes into the company... And
why am I a girl, fam? Wait, hold on.
By the time PJ, who's a girl, comes into the company, they're not paying that amount anymore. It could happen. This is not me making excuses for companies. I'm not one to stand up for companies because, okay, they do fuck us over, if I could say that. I don't know if I can curse on your podcast. They do mess us over. They do mess us over, all right? So I'm not here to defend companies, but I would be very surprised if that was still happening today, right? And I think it would be risky business for them, because if people, okay, like you say, one person might not be able to afford it, but at the end there's going to be a lot of people who are going to come over, and the birds, the chicken will come back to roost. Is it what they say?
So, companies, fix your corporate identity.
They should.
And put your money where your mouth is.
Okay, cool. He said what he had to say. You guys tell me what you guys think. Leave in the comments below. You already know. Okay, moving on to the next topic. I was going to talk about how long have black people been victims? Like I say since the slavery time, we've always been victims.
There's a difference between being victims and then self-victimization. We need to understand that.
Self-victimization, that's what I want to get at.
There is a level of self-victimization in a minority of people. But we cannot dismiss it and say black people are self-victimizing. No, there are cases where you have racist cops looking for an opportunity to shoot someone. There are videos of racist cops doing this. There are videos of racist cops speaking about shooting black people in vulgar terms. So we can't dismiss it. And this is not just with cops. Cops are people that you probably come, in contact with more than your politician, more than businessmen, more than employers maybe that would hire you. You know what I mean? You have more chances of meeting the cop on the street than meeting the CEO of your company. Unless it's a very small company where you see each other all the time. You know what I mean?
They don't show their faces.
I personally believe in countries like America, where I think white supremacists are within the police force, and they, there's a group of these people. Yeah, they wear uniform. They have some license to kill, right? In France, I think we were speaking today of how they target people. They see you're black, they come over and ask you for your ID. And this is where I love Ireland, because that's a strange experience for me. The only bad experience I had with a cop was when I was arrested because they thought I was someone else and they thought I was wanted, etc.
Stop snitching.
And he refused to put a seatbelt on me. He roughed me up in the jail, strip searched me, messed up my car by putting coolant in my batteries, right? I brought this up to the Garda Ombudsman, and they told me
after he reported that he loves Ireland. This comes after he reported that he loves Ireland.
No. This is not me generalizing. Anyway, this guy did take him to the Ombudsman, and they told me from the bat, we only prosecute about 2% of our cases. So this is, he told me that, listen, only about 2% of our cases are successful. I'm like, then what's the point of you having been here, existing? This is wasting my time. And then they started calling me this, and that. At the end, I was just tired of the whole procedure, and I just threw it out because I really wanted to go for this cop. I wanted to teach him a lesson.
But you said that in here, in Ireland, we don't experience this type of stuff. Or do you think that the USA...
keep in mind, I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm speaking for myself. There are people who would contradict me and say, hey, listen, I live in a rough neighborhood. Police harass me. Police beat me. I think...
But what the whole victimization falls into, like that, I don't think this is only a topic for black people, but this is for everybody, feminists. You said something about the Me Too movement. Somebody came out and...
Yeah, it was criticism about the Me Too movement. Of course, the principle is a discussion we have to have, which is sexual abuse. But some authors, commentators, etc., came up with the claim that it puts women in a position where they victimize themselves because they are like, hey, it was me too. And the movement only makes them visible, but it rarely gives them a chance to stand up.
And didn't some of the feminists came out?
So what they basically said, sorry to interrupt you, they said actions must follow visibility.
Yeah, because it's just like, I'm going to tell you this, the whole kneeling thing. When any sport starts here in England, everybody kneels for Black Lives Matter. And there's a guy who looks like you, Wilfred Zaha, plays for Crystal Palace, number 11. Wilfred Zaha, there was a player before on the League One or League Two or Championship, refused to play. I think it was Brentford or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Look it up yourself. Wilfred Zaha was the first player in the Premier League English football to not kneel down before the match, because every match everybody goes down, kneels down, and Black Lives Matter, blah blah blah, and then continues to play. And for them, I don't know what's the word you look for, in is it solace or in respect of Black Lives Solidarity, for Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And he obviously received some racism backlash few months ago, and he said, "What's the point of us kneeling and nothing is happening?" And that took me back when Jay-Z signed his NFL contract, whatever, and he said, "We're past kneeling." And people bashed him. That's the whole victimization that I'm talking about. He said, "We're past kneeling," and people bashed him. People, yes, we know there's many people that were victims of racism. There's many people that suffered a great deal of loss from this whole thing. But for me is that, how long are we going to keep kneeling?
Hold on, it's a very, you need to be careful, because we need to stop seeing black people collectively and start seeing them individually, right? Those who choose to kneel down, they have their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Those who choose not to kneel down, they have
also have
also their experiences, right? Now, Jay-Z, no cop would fuck with Jay-Z because, first of all, he's a celebrity. Any cop that would fuck with Jay-Z or mess with Jay-Z would really find himself in hot waters because this guy has money to suit him. A lot of times, cops mess with people they know they cannot afford a lawsuit. Like you said, with the women being intimidated with lawsuits because it costs so much, and then at the end they might even lose their jobs.
if you're nobody.
Right? That's one case, right? People like Jay-Z, they don't face the same type of racism as people in the lower class. People like Wilfred Zaha, you said. Wilfred. They don't face the same
So he can
type.
afford, you're saying he can afford to stand up.
Yeah, because this is, keep in mind, people are individuals. They're black people are each individuals with their own experiences, their own lifestyles. Everybody is different. Now, I think this is part of racism where you put people all in the same box, right? It's also idiots who usually do this. They put everybody in the same box because of their skin color, right?
But him being a major celebrity, do you think he's making a mistake? Or
no, I think he's got his own reasons, mistake or not. I think he's got his own reasons. I think he's got his own experiences that would lead him to that, right? A lot of black people have been whitewashed as well, right? A lot of people, your entourage, where you have a lot of, okay, let's say I'm a black person, and if I'm not strong-minded, my entourage is white people who are like, oh, why are you kneeling? This kneeling shit has to stop. That could affect me as well. And I could be like, oh, why do we need to stand? Why do we need to kneel down? You know, it's ridiculous. Everybody got the opportunity. Because I hear this a lot. You know, you see a person that does not suffer from racism, that does not know what people are fighting for, you know, they stand up and they say, oh, that's not true. You know, everybody's treated equally. The cops treat people equally.
Yeah.
Black people need to stop resisting cops. Just do as the cop says. And we also see videos where people actually do what the cop says and still get shot.
Yeah.
So, going back to Jay-Z and Wilfred, they're different level. If you go to UK, there are youths. I seen a video, and this was not the only video. There was maybe 5 black kids and 1 white kid. They stopped the black kids, searched them for knives. And the white friend was not searched. Another video, they were searching 3 black kids. Their white friend was not in handcuffs. These black kids were in handcuffs. Not because they're seeing them with knives. Because they're using some act, I think is the PAC or whatever. Some, basically, they use this section of the law, whatever, to allow them to search people. Now, not only is this humiliating, and I think it's defaming as well. Because if I'm walking by and I'm seeing someone being searched in handcuffs, it already destroys their image to me.
Okay. So, do you guys think we should keep screaming, y'all, listen, man, they're killing us, let's kneel for this, or is it action time? And what kind of action do we need to take?
I think
I feel
first...
like
Go on, sorry.
If the Me Too movement didn't happen, figures like Weinstein would never have been prosecuted. Right?
That's true.
Very important step. If whole Black Lives Matter movement didn't happen, we wouldn't be sitting here and talking about it in that depth. But I feel like 5, 6, 7 years of symbolic actions should lead our generation to taking next steps. That's where I'm standing. So I do understand those people who say we are past those taking knee, for example. Yeah. So I do understand where they're coming from, but I think you never have to lose the origins of that movement outside and keep it going. Still, I think it's just a healthy combination.
I think my problem with black people is this, right? I'm not always supportive of them because I choose what I support. If it's right, I support. If it's wrong, I don't support it, right?
Yeah.
The problem is this. Let's go to America, right? Very few black people hold key positions that will allow them to make a difference. Now, you have Black Lives Matter, shouting day and night, this, we want equality, we want this, and that, right? You have people on top who don't look like you, who don't experience what you experience and sometimes don't even care what you experience. You expect them people to make a difference for you. Now keep in mind, the higher up you go, the wider it gets and the more white supremacy you have, especially in countries like America. So you expect all these people to bow down to your needs that will not benefit them in any way or form, that will just contradict their beliefs that you're less of a human being than them. You see the problem? We have a movement low here, but we don't have a movement up here. You get me? We can push pressure up to the senators and maybe up to the president, but what happens to people who actually have control?
I think I once heard someone say, once you start affecting the money, that is when things start changing. Once you start affecting the money,
Is my other problem.
kill somebody who affects the money. Like if a cop kills somebody who affects the money,
Do you think if George Floyd was rich, do you think that cop would be walking the streets right now, waiting for his court day?
but if nah, bro, nah.
See,
Let me give you a prime example. The shooter of rest in peace, Pop Smoke. The shooter of Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was shot in Beverly Hills. I'm not quite sure if that's correct or not. Beverly Hills, somewhere there. Where you have all these rich people. If you don't know what Beverly Hills is, you're not familiar with it. If you play GTA, I learned yesterday that it resembles the same look, or it's the same place. But anyway, you can see that in there's a lot of rich Caucasian folks and people from different places that don't want nothing to do with that type of behavior. So what do they do when things like that happen? They send a message by doing what? We pay you, the police, to do your job. You have about 3 months to find out who are these people that came into our neighborhood to think that they can come in here, endanger our neighborhood, and kill people. You find them, you prosecute them. And guess what? They found them, prosecute them. Meanwhile, it's been 5, 10, 27 years, and we still haven't found the killer of Tupac. Anyway, moving on.
No, it's a good thing that you bring up Beverly Hills, and I think it's Beverly Hills, if I'm not mistaken, where the response time for police is 2.5 minutes.
Bro, they don't play there.
Because I think they actually finance their police department or sponsor or something like that. Or I think the taxes they pay goes to like they're very well equipped, their police, compared to other police officers, right? So I think there's a lot to look at on the black people's perspective. We cannot just say, okay, there's just movement. We also have to look at the black culture itself, where gun and violence is promoted in the music.
Yeah.
You get me? So you might have a good cop who is scared because of what he sees, because of the culture there is.
Hears, yeah.
We can blame a lot of people if we want, but the problem is within us ourselves.
We snitch
We can
on
talk
ourselves.
about FBI's planting drugs,
Yeah.
planting crack cocaine, starting the crack cocaine epidemic in the black community, because okay, we don't have any black people that go to Colombia, buys drugs and brings it into America. We know, okay, there was a situation with the FBI's and the police, etc., planting drugs or putting drugs into the neighborhoods to bring people down. That's why you hear Tupac saying, "Give them drugs and guns, watch them kill each other." In Changes, if you heard the song.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's referring to that. There are drugs and guns being put in the community. That was put in the community, to self-destruct the community. But we know all this. What have we done ever since? I don't see any rapper sponsoring events where, okay, they're opening up rehab centers in their neighborhoods.
Maybe there is.
There is, but they're very few. They're very little. You get me? Right? We don't hear songs that motivate black men to do good. There's not many songs like that.
Because
all we hear is violence, guns, drugs, and bitches. Which is actually 3 things that actually will help you fail in life if you don't have control over them.
Yeah. your kids will listen to that, and then they feel some type of way
Yeah,
towards
we
females.
were growing up
especially
listening to what?
black females, like, you know,
Listen, we were growing up listening to who? Who was one of the biggest stars when we were growing up? 50 Cent.
50 Cent, yeah.
We wore do-rags like 50 Cent. We even had a Reebok shoe with 50 Cent's face on it.
Yeah, we bought that.
We bought that.
Black one and white one.
We had that. You know what I mean? So they have so much influence on us because we were so young. We were very, very young. You know what I mean? We didn't even know what life was about. We were living with our parents. We depended on our parents. But that lifestyle seems so attractive. You know, and it's getting worse. The stuff 50 Cent was rapping about is not the same stuff these kids are rapping about these days, man. It's scary. Their videos, their lyrics, the message they're sending out there, it's like the worse it is, the badder it is, the better these companies jump.
And I don't think we don't need to go to 50 Cent anymore. Now you have drill music, which is just the neighborhood country, you know, neighboring country, which is, you know, UK and all that. And they're because of, this is a topic for another day, because, you know, we run out of time. You see most UK, most Irish rappers, they have a flow like UK's, and they talk about pretty much the same thing. And if you close your eyes, you don't watch the video, you think like these guys, oh, it's from UK, but you hear the same sound. But anyway, moving on. Okay, I want to do awkward take before we go ahead, because I don't want to go on for too long. Okay, cool. I wanted to ask you guys, take yourself into a space where you think it's just you and yourself. There's no partners, there's no girlfriends, there's no boyfriend. Just be cool. Would you guys date somebody who is bisexual?
No.
Or if you find out that they're bisexual when you're like 7 months in?
I wouldn't see the point of it. Like, put it this way. Actually, you answer first.
You're in love. You're in love with the person. No, I'm
Okay.
I asked first. Hold on. Let me give you the scenario. You're in love with the person. The person's cool. 7 months. Everything is perfect. She matches your shoes. You match her shoes. You guys hold hands and skip around the park and Flowery Park all together. And you guys do everything together. You're like, yo, I'm really happy, blah, blah, blah. You don't go out with your boys anymore. You forgot all the stuff that you used to do and stuff like that. And you're for that person. And then that person say, I have a secret to put it down for you. Because sometimes I think what happens when some people come out, they have a secret. You make an exception given what you went through throughout those whole months. And they say, I am bisexual. What do you do?
Ladies first.
You should just ask yourself the question, what do I want from that person? And do I want a future with that person? Because let's say you are committed, you want a common future, and your counterpart does too, then the question is, could you live with the fact that this person might need another sex than the one I can offer in the future? Can I live with that or can I not? And depending on that answer, honestly to yourself, you should decide whether you can cope with that.
I wouldn't say that's where I was going. In my head, it was just more like...
I think what she's going with is good. Because me personally, I would find you confused, you know? I would be confused as well on what exactly, like he says, you don't know when that person might need the other sex.
No, you can't fix it. You can't really fix
That-
it. But imagine you going to the club, you have to worry about boys and girls. Jeez.
You have to worry about everybody. But listen,
Bruh. Like for me, like if I'm dating a female, like if I go to the club and like there's like, you know, male shutting up my girl, I like, yo, she's responsible for her to do blah, 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 blah. But I'm cool. And if like people that force, I'm really worried about male. But like if she like, you're like looking at both, you're like, yo, bruh. But then again, that could be an opening for threesome.
I'm gonna say this, right? There's also misconceptions about homosexualities. I think bisexual people are also part of homosexuality, etc. I think there's a misconception that homosexual people cannot be serious or settle down in a relationship. I think there's a misconception about that. There's a misconception. A lot of people feel like if someone is homosexual, they party, they go out with different people.
Nah, from I think homosexual are for me anyway, for what I've seen, I think for them they feel like, yeah, I found this person. But I don't think there's a person like this anywhere else. Blah blah blah.
Conceptions are transmitted through media and the people we know. Blah blah blah.
The truth remains the truth. And
So hold on, are you
I
guys?
don't think
Are you guys breaking
there's
up
a
the
misconception.
person? You're breaking up the person. You're breaking up the
No,
person. You're
I'm
breaking up the
saying
person.
honest communication. I mean, if you are in a lucky position that you can actually request that from your counterpart, because people can also lie. But if you're like, hey, what about if we agree on not cheating on each other, and if we have desires?
Yeah, but I
talk
think
about it.
that's agreement anyway.
Not
That's
for you.
anyway.
No, you can also jump into an open relationship.
No. If you guys don't get it, I'm talking about in love with a person.
Man. I'll answer you. I don't care. Look, love is not enough to keep a relationship going. That's what people need to know, man.
That is actually a good point.
Alright? If I have a person that tells me they are bisexual, I think marriage itself, I don't think we will go as far as marriage because I think marriage itself is complicated. It's risky as it is with heterosexual people, different sex marriage going on there. And then when you throw in homosexuality, bisexuality, I think it gets even more complicated. And it's personally
More
a risk.
open, is it?
Yeah?
It's more open, isn't it?
No, it's just more complicated, and it's not a risk that I wanna take.
Yeah.
I'd rather a woman who tells me I'm not anymore.
I don't think there's a
I
such,
can
there's
maybe.
a such if you were you will never that. You were experimenting. There's people that experiment. You were experimenting. You will never that. You experimenting. Okay. I will. This is not a plug. Okay. But there's a show in Amazon where it speaks on this. It's called. Oh God, what's that show that I watched about these couples? They literally, it's like Black Mirror. Every episode, different people and stuff. It's like this couple, they have this thing, this dating app.
Right.
The whole show is about the dating app, but different episodes of different couples. They have this dating app, and they go see different people. They have like an open relationship. You understand? Different people. And she goes to different guys. He
Wife
goes to
swap,
different
is it?
girls. Not wife swap. No, she go this different guys. It's like they come say, "Yo, what you think about this guy?" Yeah, cool, I approve. And then she goes, "What you think about this guy?" And then cool, approve. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was my same act. But it gets to a point where she finds this girl and she likes this girl, and then he feels some type of way because it's this girl, and he's like, okay. So she's like open, bisexual, and he's cool. I like her, blah blah blah. And then he goes, listen, spoiler alert, by the way, I didn't tell you what the show is, I don't care. Listen, so he goes, yo, listen, you guys go ahead, but don't have sex. Like, go ahead, get to know her, but don't have sex. If you have sex with her, I'm gonna get really pissed off. And then he finds, one day they just got excited, he finds her with her in bed and stuff like that. Having sex in the garden, by the way. I'm gonna speed this up. And then, blah, blah, long story short, he gives her an ultimatum. Yo, listen, you gotta choose her or me. She chooses her, then because yeah, listen, because she was so used to him for years, she found out that the girl wasn't like him. She ended up going back to him, and then he says, yo, listen, it's a show about an app that shows you who your soulmate is. Wherever around the world, they match your soulmate.
Yo,
and then, if you're married, you can leave your soulmate and go meet somebody else because the app told you so. So she found a soulmate while she was married with this dude. And then this dude as well, once they broke up and she chose the girl that was a soulmate, this dude got his soulmate as well from England. They were in America. And then what they did then, he flew his soulmate there. And in the end, they agreed to all of them be together. Say, this is my wife. My wife's soulmate is this girl. And you're my soulmate. And we all live in one roof.
Yo, here. This is the problem.
The son of a pastor will speak.
Nah, listen. This is the problem I have, right? I think I said this earlier. We're in a generation where we're normalizing shit that we should be normalizing. Marriage is sacred. If you're ready to get married, you can't be mixing and bringing in people into your marriage. Not even in thoughts, right?
That's your opinion.
Of course, it's my opinion. That's why it's
not
coming
like
out of my
overall.
mouth.
That's not stamped.
No,
anywhere.
This is my opinion, and I stand by it. Strongly stand by it. Right?
But
marriage
you're nobody
is meant to be
though, so your opinions doesn't matter.
No, I am somebody. I'm here. How the hell are you gonna bring in people into the marriage? It's crazy. That's ridiculous. Then we shouldn't be married. Listen, it's better to listen. There's something you gotta realize, right? When you meet a new person, right? You guys are having crazy sex. You guys are hopping each other, right? Blah 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 blah. All that is crazy.
I'm looking for the show.
After a time, it will die down, which is totally natural, and then you guys have to work on sparking things up, which is natural, right? When you step out, right, and you're cheating on your partner, not only is it wrong.
The show's called Soulmates. Soulmates. Yeah.
Not only is it wrong, but you are in a stage where you're infatuated. Whatever happened in the previous relationship about, okay, you guys at the start were X, Y, and Z, humping each other like rabbits every few seconds, right? It will happen in that new relationship because it's new. And it will die down as well. So you got to know, okay, in my relationship right now, okay, maybe we're not having the hot banging sex we used to have anymore. Because you guys have gone past that stage. You guys have matured. Your love, your relationship has matured. Right? You guys were having sex twice a day. Trust me, after 5-6 years, you'll probably be having sex 2 to 3 times a week. If you guys even have time. Right? But then it becomes
won't be
into
5-6 years, 3 or something like that.
Yeah, it depends on people.
It's just how you prioritize things,
how you guys communicate, how you guys try to spark things up, But for instance, let's say me right now, right? I've been with my wife for 4 years.
Already?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Since the 5th of March, 2017. Right now, we're in late March, 2021. Right?
So anniversary just passed.
Yeah, and we're about to celebrate our 2nd year anniversary. We've been together for 4, married for almost 2.
Yeah.
Right? So we're at a stage where we're planning our investments. We're planning for business. Right? I'll be forced to make trips back and forth from home. I'll be forced to do this, and that. So we will be spending more and more time in different countries, etc. Now, if our marriage is based on sex alone, we will not survive. Like I said, love will not just keep your marriage going. Sex will not just keep your marriage going, right? They're the engine and the brain of the marriage, right? The computer, your ECU, and your engine. They work together, right? To keep the car going, right? Now, there's also other things that makes a marriage work. Yeah. This is what people need to understand because a lot of people are getting blindly into marriages and they don't really know the reality of what goes on. You know what I mean? There's so many realities that goes on into marriage that you will never probably see until you get into them. People see me and my wife, we take pictures, we look all happy. We got all issues too. You don't know, okay, maybe we were fighting during that picture, but since we were around people, we smile.
Look up him and his wife, man, if you get a chance.
You know what I mean? So when a marriage gets to a point where you guys have to use an app, it's just normalizing bullshit that I will never accept. Call me old school any day, I will accept it with a smile. I'll take it with a smile. Yes, I am old school, but you know what? That's the best school you could be in because it's working and it got good mentality behind it.
Facts.
Right? I'm not going to jump into this whole generation bandwagon where people get with each other, they do this, they try this. Like, no. All
right, listen. We're not going to say weird people, but anyway, everybody has their own options and stuff. And with that said, okay, this is it from us today. Wish we can talk more, but we got stuff to do, like eating and stuff after workout. Dude, thanks for coming through.
Anytime.
Thanks for everybody behind the camera. Hope you guys can get involved more. Okay, cool. Follow Talk2 Podcast. Also Fashion Sense. Follow Fashion Sense. Subscribe, people. Subscribe to the channel. Let us grow. We have so many plans for you. Okay. And on Facebook, all that good stuff. And leave the comments there. If you have any questions, do let us know. I'm yours truly, the boy, the host, with the moles, with the poles, with the foes, with the... Okay, I should start at rapping.
You know what, man?
But anyway, listen, people. Peace.
Next time.